There is a law at work in your life this very moment, whether you acknowledge it or not. It is as constant as gravity, as unyielding as the rising of the sunday. This law declares that the circumstances of your life, every fortune you enjoy, every hardship you endure, are the direct reflection of the dominating thoughts of your mind. That which you allow to live in your mind will, without fail, take form in your world. If you think in terms of power, you will attract the instruments of power. If you think in terms of limitation, you will create limitations so real that you will swear they were placed there by forces outside yourself. Understand this at once. The mind is the only territory you truly own. All else, your home, your business, your possessions, even the loyalty of others, can be taken from you. But the contents of your mind, the quality of your thought, the discipline of your focus, and the mastery of your emotions, these are yours to command or to neglect. And it is in this territory, and only in this territory, that millionaires are first made. Do not mistake my meaning. $1 million in the bank is merely a result. The cause is a particular pattern of thinking, a particular way of commanding the mind, so that it bends circumstance to its will. I will teach you this pattern, but I must warn you, it is not a set of tricks or slogans. It is not motivation in the shallow sense. It is not a quick method. It is a complete restructuring of the way you think, feel, and act until you are no longer a passenger in your own life, but the captain at the helm, charting a definite course to a definite destination. And so we begin with the first principle, definiteness of purpose. Without it, you are a ship without a rudder, moving whichever way the tide of events pushes you. With it, you become like a guided missile locked onto your target, adjusting your course but never abandoning it until impact is made. Definiteness of purpose means you know exactly what you want, you know why you want it, and you are willing to subordinate every conflicting thought, emotion, and habit to the achievement of that aim. It means that your mind becomes a fortress in which your purpose is king, and nothing that does not serve it is permitted to remain. The average person fails here because they allow their purposes to be vague, multiple, and changing. They want to be rich, but they also want to avoid risk. They want success, but they also want constant comfort. They want the rewards of mastery without the discipline of mastery. And so their thoughts cancel each other, their actions oppose each other, and their results are a reflection of this chaos. Definiteness of purpose is the first filter through which all your thinking must pass. If a thought strengthens your purpose, keep it. If it weakens it, destroy it. And do this relentlessly, for the mind is always under attack from influences that would scatter it. Now we must speak of the second principle, self-discipline. This is the ability to make yourself do what should be done when it should be done, whether you feel like it or not. It is the iron gate that protects your purpose from the sabotage of your own moods and impulses. Without self-discipline, definiteness of purpose is a mere wish. With it, every purpose becomes a plan, and every plan becomes a result. Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your appetites for food, for comfort, for idle pleasure. If you cannot control your body, you will never control your mind. It extends to the mastery of your time. A man who permits the hours of his day to be stolen by distraction has already surrendered his wealth, for time is the raw material of fortune. And above all, self-discipline is the mastery of your emotions, for emotion is the most dangerous thief of all. Which brings us to the heart of this teaching, emotional detachment. You will never become a millionaire if you are at the mercy of your feelings. The man who invests in fear will sell in panic. The man who acts in anger will destroy in seconds what took years to build. The man who craves approval will spend his life performing for others instead of building for himself. Emotion is a powerful servant, but a terrible master. The wealth-minded individual does not kill emotion, but harnesses it, channels it, and releases it only when it serves the purpose he has chosen. Emotional detachment means that you are able to look at every situation with the clear eyes of reason. You may feel the sting of loss, but you do not abandon your plan because of it. You may feel the surge of excitement, but you do not overreach because of it. You may feel the bite of insult, but you do not waste your power in petty retaliation. If you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. I will now give you the tool by which emotional detachment is built the law of mental neutrality. This law states that between every event and your reaction to it, there exists a space. In that space lies your power to choose your response. Most people never enter this space. They react instantly, automatically, as if their emotions were levers pulled by external hands. The master enlarges this space until it becomes an arena in which reason can deliberate and decide. You will train this faculty by catching yourself in the very moment before you react. You will pause. You will ask, "Does this action serve my purpose?" And you will act only when the answer is yes. This single habit, practiced daily, will set you apart from 99 of every 100 people you meet. Now, let us speak of accurate thinking, for without it, your detachment will be cold but blind. Accurate thinking is the ability to separate facts from mere opinions, truth from rumor, essentials from non-essentials. The accurate thinker deals with reality as it is, not as he wishes it to be. He recognizes that the mind is constantly tempted by bias, emotion, and wishful thinking, and he wages war against these enemies as fiercely as he would against fraud in his business. The accurate thinker asks, "What are the facts? How do they align with my purpose? What must be done next?" He does not waste energy on what cannot be changed, nor does he blind himself to danger because it is unpleasant. He uses his detachment not to escape reality, but to see it more clearly than others can. The power of calmness is the silent weapon of all great achievers. Calmness is not weakness. Calmness is not the absence of motion. Calmness is the deliberate conservation of force until the precise moment of decisive action. Observe the master strategist. He does not rush when provoked. He does not lunge when baited. He does not exhaust himself in premature attacks. He remains still not because he does not care, but because he will act only when the odds are bent entirely in his favor. A calm mind sees what a turbulent mind misses. In moments when others panic, the calm thinker notices opportunities hidden in the chaos. Where others feel only danger, he sees the exact point to strike. Where others flail and scatter their energy, he channels all his force into one concentrated blow. Calmness must be practiced daily in the small things if it is to be present in the great things. If you erupt in irritation at the slightest inconvenience, how will you keep your composure when real crisis comes? If you cannot hold your temper when insulted, how will you stand unmoved in the face of betrayal? Calmness is a muscle. Train it. Begin with this. In every frustration, ask yourself, is my reaction serving my purpose or my pride? Pride will tempt you to answer insult with insult, delay with anger, defeat with despair. Purpose will tell you to remain steady, to adjust, to continue forward. Choose purpose. Choose calmness. This leads us to the principle of thought first. This principle is the exact opposite of the habit that governs the masses. The average person feels first, reacts second, and thinks last, if at all. The master thinks first, decides second, and acts last. Why? Because thought is the only part of the process that can be governed entirely by your will. You cannot choose your immediate feelings, they arise unbidden. You cannot choose all the events that happen to you, the world will bring storms of its own. But you can always choose your thoughts, and through them, your decisions. Thought first means that you insert deliberate reasoning between the pull of emotion and the push of action. It means you never swing before you have aimed, never speak before you have weighed, never move before you have measured. A single unexamined reaction can undo years of progress. One angry outburst can destroy trust. One hasty decision can sink a business. One reckless investment can wipe away a fortune. The man who lives by thought first is immune to such self-inflicted wounds. You will train this habit by refusing to be hurried in matters of consequence. Speed is no virtue when it comes at the cost of accuracy. Pause. Think. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want? What action will bring it? What action will destroy it? Now we come to the science of inner command, the crown of all these principles. Inner command is the state in which your thoughts, emotions, and actions operate as a single, disciplined unit under the authority of your purpose. There is no internal division, no mutiny in the ranks of your own mind. Most people live as if they are a committee in constant disagreement. One part of them wants wealth, another part fears risk. One part wants health, another part craves indulgence. One part wants discipline, another part whispers, just relax. This inner conflict is the reason their lives are scattered and their results are inconsistent. Inner command means that once a decision is made in alignment with your definite purpose, every part of you obeys. Emotion obeys, appetite obeys, habit obeys. This unity of mind is rare, and it is the reason why those who possess it seem unstoppable. You will not achieve inner command by accident. It is the result of daily mental training, of replacing conflicting desires with a single dominant aim, of replacing vague hopes with precise plans, of replacing emotional impulses with disciplined habits. When you have achieved it, you will notice a profound shift. Resistance will remain in the world, but it will no longer exist within you. You will act without inner hesitation. You will endure without inner complaint. You will win without inner arrogance. And here I tell you the truth, most people cannot accept. Once you have inner command, outer success is not a matter of if, but of when. The world cannot long resist a mind that is unified, disciplined, and detached from every force that could derail it. The law of mental immunity is the safeguard of every great mind. Just as the body can be made resistant to disease through deliberate exposure and disciplined care, so too can the mind be made resistant to the contagion of weakness, doubt, and defeat. An unguarded mind is like an open city during wartime. Any passing fear can enter, any stray rumor can seize control, any voice of cynicism can take root. And make no mistake, the world is full of merchants of mental poison. They will offer you their fears, their limitations, their resentments, sometimes out of malice, often out of ignorance. If you accept them, you drink a slow-acting poison that will paralyze your ambition. The wealth-minded individual builds high walls around his mind and stations watchmen at every gate. He decides with surgical precision what enters the books he reads, the people he spends time with, the conversations he entertains. If an idea does not strengthen his purpose, it is denied entry. Mental immunity does not mean isolation from the world. It means selective engagement. You will still hear the voices of fear and doubt, but you will recognize them as foreign invaders, not trusted advisors. And because you recognize them, you will strip them of their power. Now, immunity is defense, but wealth requires offense, and here we enter the wealth of self-control. Self-control is not a moral luxury. It is a financial necessity. It is the ability to command your own behavior in alignment with your highest aim, even when every instinct pulls you in another direction. It is the ability to keep your hand steady when opportunity appears risky, to keep your mind focused when distraction appears tempting, to keep your pace steady when fatigue tempts you to stop. The undisciplined man leaks wealth at every turn. He wastes time on trivial tasks. He spends money to impress strangers. He abandons plans in the heat of discomfort. Self-control is the dam that stops these leaks, allowing your energy, time, and resources to accumulate into the capital of success. You will cultivate self-control by beginning with small acts of mastery over yourself. Rise at the hour you have set, without debate. Complete the work you have scheduled without excuses. Refuse indulgences that do not serve your purpose without negotiation. Each act of control strengthens the muscle of discipline until it becomes your natural state. This brings us to the discipline of unshakable focus. Focus is the art of holding your mind on one objective until it is achieved, refusing to scatter your energy across competing pursuits. It is the art of saying no to 99 invitations so you can say yes to the one that matters most. The world will try to fragment your attention. Opportunity after opportunity will parade before you, each dressed as if it were your destiny. Distraction is the enemy in disguise. It promises variety but delivers dilution. The millionaire's mind is not tempted by every glimmer. It locks onto a single aim until the aim is secured. To train focus, remove from your life every commitment, every project, every habit that does not directly advance your definite purpose. Do this without guilt. Your life is not an open field to be grazed upon by the desires of others. It is a cultivated garden, and weeds will choke it if you let them. When your focus is unshakable, time bends in your favor. What would take another 10 years takes you 3. What others abandon in frustration, you finish in triumph. And to the outside world, Your results will look like magic, though you will know they are the product of disciplined concentration. The master's code of decision is the decisive turning point in all achievement. The average man does not decide, he drifts. He hesitates, postpones, and waits for certainty, which never arrives. He changes direction whenever the wind changes, mistaking movement for progress. The millionaire thinker knows this truth. Indecision is the breeding ground of poverty. Every day spent wavering between choices is a day spent surrendering opportunity to those who have already decided. A real decision is not made when you announce it to others. It is made when you burn the bridges behind you and commit every resource to moving forward. When Cortez landed in the New World, he burned his ships so that retreat was not possible. That is the master's code. The formula is simple. Gather the facts, align them with your definite purpose, and choose. Once chosen, you act with total commitment. You remove the luxury of turning back. You deny yourself the poison of maybe. But once the decision is made, the world will test it, which is why you must master the calm conquest of adversity. Adversity is the proving ground of every great ambition. Without it, your success will be fragile. With it, your success will be unbreakable. Those who seek to avoid adversity will also avoid greatness. Those who welcome it as part of the journey will emerge with the strength to hold on to whatever they win. The key to conquering adversity is calmness. The mind that remains steady under fire will always outmaneuver the one that panics. Panic narrows vision and magnifies problems. Calmness sharpens focus and reveals solutions. When the storm comes, and it will, you must remember, the storm is not here to destroy you. It is here to refine you. The wealth-minded individual does not curse difficulty. He studies it. He asks, what is the advantage hidden here? What skill will I gain by solving this? How will this make me stronger than before? And now we arrive at the immutable laws of the millionaire mindset. These laws are not theories. They are not dependent on your belief. They operate as surely as gravity, and they will elevate or destroy you depending on whether you align with them. Law 1. Thought is cause, circumstance is effect. Your outer life is the reflection of your inner life. Change your thinking, and your results will follow. Law 2. Emotion must serve, never rule. If emotion directs your decisions, you are already defeated. Let reason lead, let emotion energize. Law 3. Purpose before comfort. Every choice that prioritizes comfort over purpose moves you away from your goal. Every choice that prioritizes purpose over comfort moves you toward it. Law 4. Discipline compounds. Small acts of discipline performed daily produce results that appear miraculous over time. Law 5. Décision creates destiny. Every fortune began with a decision made and kept. Every failure began with a decision delayed or abandoned. Law 6. Detachment is freedom. He who cannot be provoked cannot be manipulated. He who cannot be bribed by flattery cannot be controlled. Law 7. Persistence guarantees victory. No force on earth can permanently defeat a mind that refuses to quit. You do not try to live by these laws. You either do or you do not. They do not bend for mood, convenience, or preference. They are the fixed terms of success. And the moment you align with them, your progress accelerates beyond what most consider possible. The inner war for control is the only war you will fight every day for the rest of your life. It is not fought against competitors, governments, or markets. It is fought between your higher will and your lower impulses, between your purpose and your distraction, between the voice that says do it now and the voice that whispers you can do it later. Most people lose this war before they even realize it exists. They wake when they feel like waking, they work when they feel like working, they act when they feel inspired, and stop when they are tired. They live as prisoners of their moods. The millionaire thinker does not wait for favorable conditions inside himself. He creates them through discipline. He forces his body to obey the command of his mind. He forces his mind to obey the command of his purpose. And every day he wins that battle. He strengthens the habit of victory. You will not conquer the world until you have conquered yourself. You will not command wealth until you can command thought. You will not lead others until you can lead your own impulses. To aid you in this, you must master the strategy of emotional economy. Your emotional energy is a finite resource each day. Every argument, every irritation, every indulgence in negative thought spends a portion of it. If you waste it on trivialities, you will have nothing left for the battles that matter. The millionaire mind spends emotion like an investor, spends capital sparingly, strategically, and only where the return is certain. He does not rage at fools, gossip about the irrelevant, or become consumed by events beyond his control. His emotions are reserved for fueling decisive action toward his definite purpose. He knows that overreaction is a tax on success, and he refuses to pay it. Now we come to the final oath of the millionaire mind, the binding commitment that seals these principles into your life so deeply that they become not something you do, but something you are. This is the oath you take silently but keep fiercely. From this day forward, my mind is sovereign. No fear, no doubt, no outside voice will dictate what I think. From this day forward, my emotions obey my purpose. They will fuel me, but they will never lead me. From this day forward, my discipline outlasts my moods. What I decide in clarity, I will execute in difficulty. From this day forward, my decisions are final. I will choose with reason and act without retreat. From this day forward, my focus is unshakable. No distraction, no temptation, no comfort will pull me from my course. And you must understand the keeping of this oath will not make life easier. It will make you stronger. It will not remove adversity. It will make you invincible against it. And if you keep it long enough, something remarkable will happen. The world will no longer resist you. It will yield to you. Opportunities will appear that once seemed impossible. People will follow you without you asking. Success will feel less like a chase and more like a law because you will have aligned yourself with the laws that govern all achievement. You will not need to boast. Your results will speak for you. You will not need to defend yourself. Your discipline will defend you. You will not need to search for wealth. Wealth will be drawn to the clarity, decisiveness, and power of your mind. And in that moment, when you look around and see the life you once only imagined now existing in the physical world, you will know the truth that few ever learn. It was never the money that made you rich. It was the mind that made the money inevitable. This is how you think to become a millionaire. This is how you master detachment, discipline, and destiny. This is how you win not once, but forever. Now, go and make it so. We have spoken of mastery over thought, emotion, and decision, but now we must go into the craft of thinking itself, for thought is not merely a passive stream of ideas. It is the architect, the engineer, and the builder of all you will ever create. If you wish to be wealthy beyond the reach of loss, you must learn to think as the wealthy think, deliberately, strategically, and without the fog that blinds the majority. The average mind wanders like a traveler without a map, reacting to whatever it encounters. It is a consumer of thoughts, not a producer. But the millionaire mind is a producer of thought, generating ideas designed to create specific results, testing them, refining them, and discarding all that does not serve the definite purpose. This is directed imagination, the ability to summon in the mind a precise image of the result desired, and then use every faculty to bring that image into reality. Most people use imagination to escape reality. The master uses imagination to build reality. Every great fortune began as an image in the mind of its creator. Not a vague hope, not a pleasant daydream, but a vivid, detailed blueprint of what would be built. If you were to walk through the mind of a true wealth builder, you would find not random thoughts, but entire structures, the architecture of businesses, investments, and strategies that already exist in the unseen world and are simply awaiting execution. To train this, take 10 minutes each day to close your eyes and see in exact detail the outcome you are building. See the numbers in the account. See the office you have built. See the deals you have closed. Hear the conversations that confirm your success. Smell the air in the room where your vision is complete. Hold it until it feels as real as the chair beneath you. When this image is strong enough, your mind will begin working toward it, whether you are conscious of it or not. But imagination without accurate thinking is a palace built on sand. Here is where the advanced work begins. You must learn to verify every assumption. You must be ruthless in separating fact from wish. You must demand proof from every idea, even those that flatter you. This is not cynicism, it is intellectual hygiene. The wealth-minded man does not believe every opportunity presented to him. He measures it against facts, against principles, and against his definite purpose. If it fails the test, it is discarded without regret. And yet, there is another layer, strategic detachment. This is detachment applied not only to emotion, but to opportunity itself. The crowd believes that every promising path must be pursued. The master knows that the value of a path is measured not by its promise, but by its alignment with the ultimate goal. To pursue every possible win is to lose the one victory that matters. Strategic detachment means you will walk away from good deals to preserve the energy for great deals. You will let others chase the bait while you wait for the prize that serves the greater strategy. The man who cannot let go of small wins will never have the strength to seize the great one. We must now address a truth most will never face. Wealth requires the discipline to operate above the noise. The marketplace is full of noise, speculation, opinion, panic, euphoria. Those without mastery get caught in its rhythm, buying when others buy, selling when others sell, thinking what others think. This is why they are average. You must rise above it. You must think as a general surveying the field from the high ground, seeing patterns invisible to those fighting in the mud. This requires patience that feels unbearable to the undisciplined. It requires the ability to hold your position while others demand you move. It requires an indifference to the crowd's approval and a devotion to the truth you have discovered through your own accurate thinking. Now, there is a deeper force still, mental compounding. Just as money compounds when left to grow, so does skill, knowledge, and discipline. Every day you practice self-command. Your ability to command grows stronger, not by addition, but by multiplication. The patience you showed today makes it easier to be patient tomorrow. The decision you made and kept today makes it easier to make and keep the next. Over months and years, this compounding produces a mind that operates on a higher level than the one you began with. And when the mind operates on that higher level, something remarkable occurs. External conditions begin to bend toward it. You will see openings where others see dead ends. You will sense when to act without rushing, when to wait without stagnating. You will make fewer moves, but each move will carry more weight. This is why I say, the ultimate product of mastering emotional detachment, mental discipline, and inner control is not simply money, it is leverage. The leverage of thought over circumstance, of one decisive action over 100 frantic ones, of one controlled mind over 1,000 uncontrolled. At this stage, the question is no longer, will you succeed? That is inevitable. The question becomes, what will you do with the power you now possess? For the disciplined mind can turn its force toward wealth, toward influence, toward building legacies that will outlast the body itself. The answer is yours to give. But whatever you choose, let it be worthy of the years you have spent in mastery, for this level of control is rare, and to waste it on petty aims is to betray the work you have done. Now that we have built the foundation of detachment, discipline, and inner command, we turn to elite tactical thinking, the skill of arranging your thoughts, decisions, and actions with the precision of a grandmaster setting his pieces on the chessboard. Tactical thinking begins with a principle most people reject because it feels too slow. Sequence determines speed. The crowd believes speed comes from rushing. The master knows speed comes from doing the right thing in the right order and eliminating every action that does not directly lead to the goal. Think of a military campaign. The inexperienced commander scatters his forces in 10 directions, hoping something will work. The master concentrates his strength in one decisive strike. By doing less, he achieves more, because every move is placed where it multiplies the impact of all others. This is how wealth is built at scale. Clarify the end objective in absolute detail. Determine the single most critical next step, the move that will make all other moves easier or unnecessary. Execute with full force and zero distraction until that step is complete. Repeat. Most fail not because they lack effort, but because they waste effort in the wrong sequence. They decorate the building before the foundation is poured. They negotiate before they have leverage. They expand before they have fortified. Sequence is the guardian of success. Once you command sequence, you must master decision layering, the art of making small, low-risk decisions that progressively lock in your position until the final, high-stakes move is nearly inevitable. This is how a master negotiator wins before the negotiation begins, how an investor makes the obvious move that others call lucky, how a strategist seems to control the board without ever making a reckless lunge. Decision layering is built on patience and foresight. You take the meetings that seem insignificant because they place the right ideas in the right minds. You make the small commitments that cost little but create the conditions for larger agreements. You choose moves that close doors to your competitors but open corridors for yourself. The undisciplined see these as unimportant. The master knows they are laying the rails for the train of destiny. From here, we move into psychological dominance, not in the crude sense of intimidation, but in the refined sense of setting the mental frame in which others must operate. Understand this: most interactions in business and life are not determined by the raw facts, but by the frame through which those facts are interpreted. If you allow others to set that frame, you will always be reacting within their rules. The detached, disciplined thinker sets the frame before the conversation begins. He defines the terms of value so that his strengths are magnified. He decides what is urgent and what is non-negotiable before the other party speaks. He remains calm under pressure, which forces the other side to play the game at his tempo. Psychological dominance is the fruit of detachment. The man who cannot be provoked controls the man who can. The man who remains patient controls the man who grows restless. The man who defines the game controls the man who merely plays it. Yet, here is the highest refinement: invisible influence. This is the ability to shape outcomes without appearing to push them. It is the ability to plant ideas so subtly that others believe they were their own. It is the art of making your presence felt without your hand being seen. Invisible influence is made possible only by complete control over your own mind. If you still hunger for credit, you will break the illusion by revealing yourself. If you still need emotional validation, you will sabotage your subtlety with overt displays. The true master influences without the need for recognition, and thus his influence endures. At this stage, you no longer see detachment, discipline, and control as tools you pick up when convenient. They have become your natural operating system. You begin to notice the difference between yourself and the masses more sharply. You see how quickly they trade advantage for comfort, how easily they give away the power of decision to others, how dependent they are on being told what to think and when to act. This awareness must not make you arrogant. Arrogance invites carelessness. It must make you vigilant. For mastery is never complete. The moment you believe you cannot be shaken is the moment an unguarded impulse slips past your defenses. Therefore, the master keeps sharpening. He reviews his decisions not only for success, but for purity of process. He practices detachment in victories as well as defeats. He trains his mind daily, not because he fears losing his edge, but because he knows the edge can always be honed sharper. And now I give you the final, private principle, one I have never offered to the unprepared, the rule of no escape. When you commit to a goal, remove every path of retreat. Make your environment, your habits, your very identity incompatible with anything less than the achievement of that aim. Burn the ships, close the doors, sign the contracts that bind you to your own promise. Why? Because the mind, if given escape routes, will use them the moment the path becomes difficult. But if no retreat exists, all energy flows forward. The rule of no escape transforms try into must, and must is the language in which fortunes are built. All that we have built, detachment, discipline, command, sequencing, invisible influence, now condenses into one principle. The code you live by is the fortune you build. This code is not something you write in a notebook and forget. It is the law by which you govern yourself in the silence of your own mind, where no audience can see and no applause can tempt you. It is the standard you uphold when there is no penalty for lowering it and no reward for keeping it, except the quiet knowledge that you are what you say you are. Here is that code in its purest form. I think first, feel second, act last. No impulsi, no fear, no euphoria outruns my reason. I choose my response deliberately. If you live by this code without compromise, you will reach a point where success is no longer an event you chase. It is the natural condition of your existence. Wealth will follow because your thoughts, decisions, and actions are structured to produce it. Influence will follow because your calm, detached authority will draw others to your leadership. Peace will follow because you will have silenced the civil war inside yourself. And when that day comes, as it surely will, if you keep the code, the greatest proof of your mastery will not be the fortune you hold in your hands. It will be the certainty in your mind that you can lose it all and rebuild it again, because you have become the kind of person who builds, commands, and wins by choice, not by chance. This is the true meaning of thinking to become a millionaire, not merely to acquire wealth, but to acquire the mind that makes wealth inevitable, unshakable, and repeatable. And now, I leave you with the final, silent order. Take the code, live it without exception, train it until it is instinct. Guard it as you would guard your life, for once you let it rule you, nothing outside you will ever rule you again. Go and make the world yield.